let's just start with when's the last time that you actually talked to Erin?
Why does that matter?
When's the last time you talked to her?
Why does that matter? You know, I'm asking, why does that matter?
This is Brent Williams and his wife, Erin Mulcahy. To say their marriage is on the rocks would be something of an understatement.
I didn't want to be with Brent because he started to hit me and I don't want to be hit anymore.
When did he hit you last?
I'm afraid to tell you.
Only months after this encounter with law enforcement, the marriage of Brent Williams and Erin Mulcahy would come to a tragic end. Erin had been fat Williams.
I ain't gonna lie, no offense. No offense. But I see why certain niggas don't be getting a lot of ass. He just looks like a weirdo. You can't tell me you look at this guy and you think he's a normal person. He looks like he has lost his mind. Especially like it's just everything. The hair on his head, how his head shaped. He just looked crazy. He looked like the Punisher. I don't want to be around no nigga like that.
And Erin Mulcahy would come to a tragic end.
She ain't got damn peaches and cream, but she decent. She ain't need help.
At first, it looked like a terrible accident, but as the investigation delved deeper, the cops realized their sleepy village of Waynesville, Ohio, was about to experience its first homicide in almost 60 years.
What the
fuck?
Hold on. Can you imagine this real quick? Can you imagine, where I'm from, homicides happen by the day. They hadn't had a homicide in 60 years, and this is just some weird, crazy shit. I'm talking about no drive-bys, no house getting shot up, no nothing. That's crazy. It's crazy to think of like comparison.
Investigation began on July 7th with a horrifying discovery.
What's going on?
I'm pretty sure she's been in there for 2 days, probably.
Okay. In this apartment here?
Yeah.
Erin Mulcahy?
Yeah. Okay. Brent and his dad was here the other day.
Okay, but they haven't been.
Evening, and she was in the shower then.
Okay,
I
yeah.
heard the water running, and I looked underneath the floor, and water was running out.
Running out. And so she's in here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Rigor mortis has already set in. Okay, I'll have you guys step out here because I'm going to have to get some pictures and things like that. So she's in the shower. Rigor's set in. Last time anybody saw her was a few days ago. Still getting some additional information on all that. Brent was here, her ex-boyfriend or whatever was here a couple days ago. And
Got your footprint on there?
no, that might be one of the guys coming from one of the landlords. They were coming in and redoing the apartment next door. They heard water running. And when Brent was here, supposedly the other day, he said that he heard water running, but they said there was water all the way. It was flooded all the way out here. So
We're not even going to approach because it's
right, yeah, exactly. So
keep this one for the memory. He's how these treat you when you're not on top.
2 seconds later.
Driving the Benzo.
Reserve the same for you. And
okay, all right. Well, I appreciate that.
footprints too. So my footprints
Right.
right there.
Yeah, your footprints right here. I'm going to talk to these guys and make sure they came in and shut the water off, but they're the ones that found her, so I would presume that.
Erin's neighbors had become concerned for her welfare, as they'd heard water constantly running from inside her apartment. It could be nothing to worry about, but Erin's neighbors decided to call her landlord to voice their concerns.
Right.
Erin's landlord called Brent to try and get permission to enter the house, but he didn't answer the phone. So her landlord called Brent's father instead, who arrived a short time later to help. But instead of finding a problem with the plumbing, they found Erin's body slumped in the shower, and the worst part, she'd been there for several days. It would be easy to assume Erin was the victim of nothing more than an accident, as there appeared to be no injuries, stab wounds, and no sign of a suspicious death. The officer knew Erin had been having problems with alcohol addiction, but he also knew her marriage to Brent was not a happy one, and there could be more to this case than first appeared.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I've got to get.
Actually, you know what? I do know what that is. That's a nose hair from me.
Oh, okay. History of alcohol, alcoholism, and things like
Usually
that.
we
So.
come in that.
But But I've got to investigate this as something beyond that because there has been domestic history and things like that. So, all right. Howdy.
To try and get a better picture, the officer spoke to Brent's father, who revealed Aaron and Brent's marriage was on the verge of breaking down completely.
Let's just start, I guess, from the beginning. When was the last, prior to today, when was the last time you were actually in this apartment?
Thursday.
Thursday. And was anyone with you when you went in?
Brent and I went in there.
Okay. And what happened on Thursday?
Brent needed to get his checks, extra checks, out of there because he didn't know what Aaron was going to do.
Okay.
And he wanted me to come along because we're witness.
Sure. Makes sense.
Go in.
Yeah.
We hear the shower running.
Mhm.
We think she's in the shower. He gets his checks.
Mhm.
We leave.
Okay.
We come out here. We run into Jim standing right out here.
Mhm.
And we said that we told him exactly what we done. We went in to get them checks and stuff. And he said, I talked to Aaron the other day.
Who was this that you were talking to?
The guy that owns
Oh yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
He said Thursday, late afternoon, early evening, he said, I had talked to her yesterday, told her to get out. And that's about all that was said.
Okay.
He went his way. We did too. Earlier today, Brent went up and got some mail, and he said it had Aaron's name on it, and he didn't want to bring it out here because he was afraid of trouble,
Sure.
arguments.
Sure. Yeah.
So I said, well, just leave it there. I'll take it out.
Mhm.
We're on our way up here,
Sure.
and he calls me
Okay.
and said that he had to get in there.
Okay.
He told me about the water running, so he shut it on.
Okay. Before you guys made entry, he shut the water off? Okay.
So when I go in there, the door, the bathroom door's closed. I beat on it. I open it up, and I thought I seen her laying on the floor there through the glass door.
Okay.
And then Jim called, you got this.
Did you actually walk into the bathroom?
I did.
You did? Okay. Okay. How long had they been split up, do you know, roughly?
What is today, Saturday?
Today's Saturday, yeah.
Monday, yeah, of last week. I don't know for sure.
Okay, so it's just been recent?
Very
recent? Okay.
Brent's father also revealed he and Brent visited the house 2 days earlier, and even though they heard the shower running, they didn't physically see Aaron, so they couldn't confirm if she was alive at the time. Aaron's father had his own theories about what had happened, as he'd been dealing with her alcohol addiction and mental health problems for years. In fact, it came almost as no surprise that she had passed away at an early age.
Damn, really? That's bad.
Okay. Okay.
You gotta understand how reckless you gotta be living for your own peoples to be like, yeah, like I'm not even surprised this happened. You gotta be living real wild, no funny shit.
Nice to meet you.
No laughs.
For years from
This
church,
is funny, no
stuff
laughs.
like that.
Okay.
Serious face.
He was telling me that Aaron
You're laughing?
had kind of struggled with alcohol,
Yes.
some seizures,
Right.
stuff like that. Is there?
Shouldn't
She
be
was
laughing.
bipolar too?
Bipolar.
Schizophrenic?
Yeah.
I remember her telling me that. As you know, I've been here
I know
many
they've had
times.
issues going on
Sure,
and
it's
on.
been
Yeah,
it's
I
been
know
back and
it's an
forth.
ongoing
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's why I haven't been here. I told them, wait, when you guys get your act together, then
Sure.
we'll start acting like a regular family.
Sure.
Fussing and fighting, I'm not getting involved.
Right.
Because they always want to get me in the middle of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
But Aaron's father also had a crucial piece of information that would help the cops trace Aaron's last movements and try and solve the mystery of her death.
And I know she'd had seizures on and off, but I didn't know that they were, how bad they were lately. I mean,
Sure.
she'd been having something lately. I just talked to her 2 days ago.
You did
Yeah.
on the phone.
On
Okay.
the phone, so.
Do you have date and time? A date we
I
can.
could look on my phone.
Okay.
Phone, yeah.
Okay. If we could get that, that'd be great.
Okay.
We're just trying to paint a picture as to how we got to where we're at right now. So.
Right. I understand.
It's entirely possible that Erin hadn't been taking her medication and had suffered a seizure while taking a shower, resulting in her untimely death. If Erin's father had spoken to her on the phone in the last couple of days, then finding out what time he made that call could help piece together this puzzle and determine a time of death.
Hey, Brent. Can we talk to you for a few minutes? Yes, sir. All right.
But luckily, Brent arrived on the scene and was more than happy to help the cops with their inquiries.
At this point in time, everything's, fine, and we're just here to talk and try to get this figured out, okay? Yes. So that's why we're here.
Well, let's just start with when's the last time that you actually talked to Aaron?
Sunday.
Sunday?
I moved out Sunday.
You moved out on Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
Was it kind of a heated argument or
Nope.
just,
Nope.
she
I-
just said, get your stuff and
Nope,
go?
I
And,
did. I
oh,
did.
you just,
I
you
just.
just,
My dad came with me.
okay.
Got my clothes.
Uh-huh.
Pulled out.
Okay.
I went to Village and stayed that night.
Okay. All right. And did she say anything to you when you left or nothing at all?
No, I just said I was very quiet about it. My dad was with me. He'll vouch that I got my clothes, didn't say a word to her,
Sure.
and got out.
Okay.
There's nothing to
He don't look
suggest
normal.
either Brent or his father are hiding anything or withholding information. Brent seemed adamant that he entered and left the house as quickly as he could and didn't interact with Aaron, other than by text message. But out of nowhere, Brent's father throws up a major red flag that's impossible to miss.
Did you guys have any conversation
Nope.
after that? You hadn't talked to her at all since Sunday?
Text her. Yeah, you
Okay.
can only read the text.
Um,
You're more than welcome.
yeah, we can. Yeah, that's
I
fine.
really don't. They don't bother me.
Okay.
Remember, Brent, I said don't volunteer. Answer questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
This
I'll
could just be a
volunteer,
case
yeah.
of an overly
Questions.
cautious parent, as Brent himself seemed to have no problem cooperating with the cops, agreeing to
just say
pretty
that?
much anything the officer asked of him.
One other thing that I would like to do, and here again, this is just to eliminate you from any wrongdoing, is I was wondering if you would be willing to give a voluntary DNA sample.
For my swab.
Yeah, swab.
I'm
Yeah.
willing to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfectly. That's absolutely perfect. So I got a consent form here. I'll fill that out and then I'll have you sign it, and then we'll just get a swab from your cheeks and it'll be done. It's pretty simple. It's pretty.
Okay.
If that's okay with
Sounds
you.
like a plan.
But when it came to giving up his cell phone, Brent suddenly seemed reluctant to cooperate.
So are you saying that you really don't want to give up your phone at this time then?
Well, I don't want to give my phone. I don't have no reason to give up my phone. You've seen all the information I got on my phone.
Okay.
I get calls. I might need calls from my parents.
No, I understand
You're
that.
cool. He's okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we asked. I mean,
Okay.
it's, you know,
I mean, I'm not trying to hide anything.
Yeah.
I just don't want to give it up.
Do you mind if I get pictures of those text messages?
He's guilty.
Brent's
guilty.
behavior aroused suspicion with the cops.
He's guilty.
It could be possible that there's something on the phone he didn't want the
I don't-
cops to see.
I don't trust
but
that
if there
guy.
was, they'd have to
don't
wait to
trust him.
find it. So to try and understand Aaron and Brent's relationship more, Waynestown police reviewed body cam footage of one of the many times they'd been called to the residence. And just like this example from months earlier, the arguments usually started because of Aaron's drinking.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
What's going on?
She left?
Um,
She left? I didn't know what the situation was when she came back. I don't want to go to jail. She put me in jail once. And there she is, intoxicated as hell. Can't even
Okay. You think you're drunk?
I have drank
Okay. Yeah, I can tell. When did you start today?
earlier today. I don't know exactly.
You on any probation right now?
No.
Are you on any medication?
I take trazodone for sleep.
You taking it today?
No.
I tell you, I'm going to fix this issue. I'm going to my mom's.
Okay.
I'm going to get out of here. That's why I called.
No, yeah, and that's the right thing to do. You live here, right?
We both do. We're married. So I'm allowed to live here. And he is, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if my dad pays my rent.
Yeah. There hasn't been any other than verbal argument. That's all.
Been an argument.
No,
there hasn't even been an argument.
We argue.
Okay.
We
That's why
argue.
you're here. That's why
Okay.
you're here before something happens.
Okay. Well, I can't.
I understand.
I can't stay here all night.
I ain't gonna lie, this whole shit is kind of awkward, gang. I ain't gonna lie, like the whole situation and how he going about it, how she's speaking, and how they gotta be like some type of gay. Talk to the pops. I want. He definitely did. He definitely did that shit. He definitely did.
An object. So for the first time since 1959, Waynesville police opened a homicide investigation.
Yeah, he did that.
Armed with this new information and a warrant for Brent's cell phone, the cops once again called on the Williams residence. And although Brent was home this time around, the welcome wasn't any warmer than their previous visits.
Morning. How you doing? Okay, that's wonderful.
What can we do for you?
So how you doing this morning? Great, wonderful, wonderful.
Is this being recorded?
All conversations I have are recorded. Yeah.
So, okay.
Why weren't we told that?
Because
It's not an obligation to let you go. No, we're not keeping anything from you guys.
Okay. We're getting legal counsel. Here is William Clue.
Okay.
I'm calling him today.
Okay.
we've got his number.
One thing about those white parents, a lot of people will talk shit about black parents, say like they baby their children and like, you know, they don't goddamn be on their ass like with single mothers and stuff like that. But these white people, when they know their child did some weird shit, or it just like don't matter what's going on, they're fighting. They're fighting. They will keep their weird ass child on the streets before they let any cop do anything. Crazy.
We don't need his
Yeah,
number.
you didn't tell us. This is it. I'm done.
You're scaring us.
Yeah, you're scaring us. When I saw his phone, I knew.
Actually, I was checking the time.
Counsel,
I was actually checking the time, but
Legal
So,
counsel.
I mean, no, that's fine. You know, this is how we do everything.
You should have told us.
Okay. We're not obligated to let you know. I mean,
Been nice if you would have said that to him.
okay.
just like if you get pulled over on the side of the road, you're being recorded always. The cruiser cam and everything
We're
else. I
getting
mean,
legal counsel, all three of us,
That's absolutely not a problem.
today.
no problem.
That's not a problem.
You should have let us know that.
Okay.
No, you're not being fair.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
You're not being
You
fair.
want to stay? I'm going to call Pete real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Why are you calling Pete?
Hey. Yes, sir.
Why are you calling Pete?
Calling.
Who you?
I'm calling the other detective.
Why?
He's got some paperwork to give to Brent real quick. Okay.
I'm not gonna fill it out with that legal.
No. That's
No, it's not about filling it out.
not a problem. I'll be right back.
You
Not about
guys
filling it out.
not doing us fair. You're not treating us fair, buddy.
I can't apologize for coming here at 9 at night.
Yeah, but
I really can't.
he said that this was not, he's not going to arrest my son.
We are
That
not.
could wait till today.
We are not arresting him. Did you have anything else?
One thing's for sure, all four of you has got me scared. All four of you. I'm scared.
Like I said,
I haven't slept.
the
and
only
you
thing
guys
we're
don't
trying to
care.
do is trying to figure out and run every answer, question, anything down that we can to figure out what, because it's not right.
My
She's-
son's going through his wife's
she's-
funeral, and you guys are putting, taking his phone.
what him of all people, at some point, I would hope, would say, you guys did everything you could.
Well,
I know it doesn't seem that way now.
The thing is, we all know in our hearts why that lady died.
Why did she die?
Because she was an alcoholic.
Despite the monumental effort to obtain Brent's cell
That shit ain't
phone,
right.
the search came up with nothing incriminating, or any suggestion he was going to kill or even harm Aaron. So the cops focused their attention on Aaron's phone, and the last time it was active. Turns out, Aaron made a phone call on July 5th, and then went quiet. Brent had also told police he had sent Aaron a text message the very same night, but she never replied, and it started to look like that was the night she was killed. But it was when the cops spoke to one of Aaron's friends that they realized they might have found a new suspect, a man named Jimmy. Aaron had met Jimmy for an illicit encounter after she joined an online dating app behind her husband's back.
That kind of changes a lot of shit. That changes things. But it wasn't perfect because he was whooping her ass. So it's nowhere, you know what I'm saying? It's not perfect. This changes. He might have something to do with it. Maybe I was looking at him wrong because he's just a weirdo. Maybe I was wrong.
I was wondering if you could help me out. I actually am coming to you for some help if you don't mind.
Depends.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a name. And you're probably going to think I'm here for another reason, but I'm not here for that reason, okay? So can I give you that name? Aaron McCauley.
There's a very good reason the cops are being very gentle with their suspect, and that's because after he and Aaron slept together, she accused him of assaulting her in an investigation that was still ongoing at the time. The cops could be forgiven for thinking Jimmy is involved and that he may have a motive to kill Aaron, but Jimmy is clear that he didn't assault Aaron at all and hadn't been in touch with her since.
I don't know if you have heard that she had passed away.
No, I didn't know. I haven't spoken to her.
What I would like to know is how you met her.
Online.
Online? Okay.
Do you remember what dating website that was?
Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish.
That's
Okay.
crazy. So many
Jimmy
dating
had been
websites.
cooperative and provided a sample of DNA, so even though he was still on the cops' radar, they were confident he wasn't involved in Aaron's murder. This left the investigation back to square
He
one.
too confident. He don't really care. Like, he just like, yeah,
But
like,
just
nah.
when it looked like the case might stall altogether, the cops received information from someone who had become involved with Brent after Aaron's death. And what she told the cops blew the case wide open. This is Tiffany, and she met Brent after they started chatting on a dating website.
He wanted to meet up with me last weekend, and I kept telling him I had to work.
Okay.
Well, then he kept texting me and calling me, so I finally got back a hold of him, and then we were just texting. So we met yesterday over at Shawnee Reed Road, but he started talking about his wife dying. I'm like, okay, I thought maybe it happened, a while ago. But then the more and more talk, I said, so how long did it happen? Oh, it's not been 2 weeks yet. So my first reaction was, are you serious? I mean, if my husband died, and I'm a widow, I wouldn't be worried about being on these chat lines and doing this whatever,
Her description of Brent's chilling attitude towards his deceased wife is a major red flag for the cops. But the worst was yet to come, as Tiffany single-handedly helped solve one of Waynesville's most brutal crimes when she revealed Brent's true motive for killing his wife.
But the way he said it was weird as hell.
What did he say?
We were just sitting there, and he was talking about, he's got to get this on in his life. I said, we don't have to rush this. Even though I wasn't trying to be, I was just talking to him. I said, we don't have to rush this. I said, because you need to grieve for your dead wife. I said, most people are. He goes, well, I was done, I already grieved. He goes, I didn't even care before she died. I've been okay with this. He's like, I'm ready to move on. And then he's all happy about getting a check in the mail for her death. The way he said it, he was like, weird. He said, well, I'm waiting for a check in the mail. I said, for what? And he said, life insurance. And I said, well, you took one? He's like, yeah, I took one out on her. He's like, I knew she was going to die. I said, well,
Did he say how much?
$25,000?
As if cashing in on his wife.
You did that for $25K? For $25,000, you just...
Wife's life insurance wasn't evidence enough. Brent had taken out the policy only 5 weeks before Aaron's death. Just as things couldn't get any worse for Brent, the DNA evidence cleared Jimmy of any wrongdoing. And this was all the evidence the cops needed to finally make an arrest.
Hey, Con, take it easy. He doesn't know about signing for your arrest too, all right? What the hell? I don't care what he's got. You're better. I'll tell you something right now, sir. All right, go.
Ain't gonna do nothing, though, man. Shut up.
Do this. He did not.
Better shut your old ass up.
You're first of all, you're arresting me when I didn't do nothing wrong. That's fine. Let's go. Let's go to jail.
Brent Williams was charged with Aaron's murder, and his trial took place in the Auglaize County Common Pleas Court. He waived his right to a jury trial, leaving a judge to decide his fate. With the motive of a life insurance payout.
Is that him? That's him? He just looked like a weirdo. Like, sometimes I ain't gonna lie, like, ladies, you just gotta be able to look at a man and be, you just look like a weirdo. Oh, bro, 25 racks is crazy. Crazy. I would have sold crack cocaine before I did that for 25 racks. I would have went to Mexico and started working with El Jefe. El Jefe. Oh, no, El Jefe. The bosses are bosses, nigga. Before I ever did some goofy to doofy shit like this on Photo Grave. And this nigga just looks like, he just looked like one of them. He was guilty. I didn't see the full, you know what I mean? He's guilty.
Out and DNA evidence, Brent Williams was found guilty of murdering Aaron Mulcahy and sentenced to 15 years to life.
Yeah, he's gonna die in prison. It's pretty much over.